Walter Russell Mead is an American academic. He is the James Clarke Chace Professor of Foreign Affairs and Humanities at Bard College and previously taught American foreign policy at Yale University. He is also the editor-at-large of the American Interest magazine and a non-resident distinguished scholar at the Hudson Institute. Biography. Early life. Walter Russell Mead was born on June 12, 1952 in Columbia, South Carolina. His father, Loren Mead, is an Episcopal priest in Washington, D.C., who grew up in the South. He was educated at the Groton School, a private boarding school. He then graduated from Yale University, where he received his B.A. in English Literature. Career. Mead is the James Clarke Chace Professor of Foreign Affairs and Humanities at Bard College and previously taught American foreign policy at Yale University. He is also the editor-at-large of the American Interest. In 2014, he joined the Hudson Institute as a distinguished scholar in American strategy and statesmanship. He served as the Henry A. Kissinger Senior Fellow for U.S. Foreign Policy at the Council on Foreign Relations until 2010. He is a co-founder of the New America Foundation, a think tank that has been described as radical centrist in orientation. In 2003, he argued that an Iraq war was preferable to continuing UN sanctions against Iraq because each year of containment is a new Gulf War, and that the existence of Al-Qaeda and the attacks of September 11, 2001 are part of the price the United States has paid to contain Saddam Hussein. Writings. Mead oversees an influential daily blog, Via Media, on the website of the journal American Interest. Via Media is a Latin phrase meaning the middle road, and is a philosophical maxim for life which advocates moderation in all thoughts and actions. In frequent posts throughout the day, he and Via Media's staff write about two primary areas. The first is America's foreign policy and how it is working, or not working, in various situations throughout the world. The second area is America's domestic state of affairs and in particular the decline of what he terms the blue social model of governing that grew out of America's preeminence following World War II. Additionally, he regularly writes for several journals, magazines and newspapers such as Foreign Affairs, The New Yorker, The Washington Post, and The Wall Street Journal. He is currently on the staff of Foreign Affairs, is a book reviewer and on the editorial board of the American Interest. In 2001, Mead published Special Providence, American Foreign Policy and How It Changed the World. It won the Lionel Gelber Award for the best book in English on international relations in 2002. The Italian translation won the Premio Acqui Storia, an annual award for the most important historical book published. Special Providence, which stemmed from an article originally published in the winter 1999-2000 issue of the National Interest entitled The Jacksonian Tradition, describes the four main guiding philosophies which have influenced the formation of American foreign policy in history: the Hamiltonians, the Wilsonians, the Jeffersonians and the Jacksonians. The New Left Review praised the book as a robust celebration of Jacksonianism as it historically was, an admiring portrait of a tough, xenophobic folk community, ruthless to outsiders and deserters, rigid in its codes of honor and violence. Not all critics praised the book, however. Despite the hype surrounding the book, it ultimately challenges little. Geographer Joseph Nevis wrote, "To the contrary, it reinforces the tired notion of U.S. exceptionalism." Thus, he paints U. deployment of violence as inherently less brutal than that of Washington's enemies. In doing so, he sometimes grossly understates the human devastation wrought by the United States. In June 2005, he published Power, Terror, Peace and War: America's Grand Strategy in a World at Risk. The New York Times Book Review called him one of the country's liveliest thinkers about America's role in the world. The book attempts to elaborate on Joseph N. Y's soft power concept, adding the ideas of sharp power, sticky power, and sweet power, which together work towards hegemonic power and harmonic convergence. In October 2007, he published God and Gold: Britain, America, and the Making of the Modern World, about the Anglo-American tradition of world power. The Economist, the Financial Times, and the Washington Post all listed God and Gold as one of the best non-fiction books of its year.